Have you ever felt like you're finally doing everything right with manifestation, only to lose it a few hours later? You wake up feeling powerful. You claim your new identity. You feel like your desire is already yours. You're confident, peaceful, and convinced that you've finally entered the state of the wish fulfilled. Then something happens. You check your phone. You look at your bank account. Your specific person hasn't texted. Your circumstances haven't changed. Or maybe someone says something that triggers you. Within seconds, everything falls apart. Your confidence disappears. Fear returns. You begin replaying your old story, and suddenly you're convinced that you've ruined everything. Then comes the worst part. You start blaming yourself. You tell yourself, "Why can't I stay in the state? I can't even hold it for a few hours. Everyone else seems to be able to do this except me. Maybe I'm just not good at manifesting." If you've ever experienced this, I want you to know something that could completely change the way you look at your manifestation journey. You're not failing. You're actually experiencing one of the most normal parts of changing your state of consciousness. Welcome back to Real Life Manifestations, the channel where we explore the timeless teachings of Neville Goddard, the law of assumption, and powerful manifestation principles through practical insights and real-life success stories. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe and join our growing community of conscious creators. Let's begin. One of the biggest misconceptions people have about manifestation is believing that once they enter the state of the wish fulfilled, they should never leave it again. They imagine that successful manifestors somehow stay positive 24 hours a day, never doubt themselves, never react to the 3D world, and never experience negative emotions. That simply isn't true. Even Neville Goddard explained that moving from one state into another is a process. Whenever you're leaving behind an old identity and stepping into a completely new one, it is entirely normal to swing back toward your previous state. Think about that for a moment. For years, maybe even decades, you've been identifying with a particular version of yourself. Maybe you've believed you're unlucky. Maybe you've believed relationships never work out for you. Maybe you've identified as someone who struggles financially. Maybe you've carried the identity of someone who always gets rejected. Whatever your old story has been, you've repeated it so many times that it became automatic. It became your default setting. Your subconscious accepted it as normal. Now imagine trying to replace years of conditioning in a single afternoon. Of course, your mind is going to drift back toward what's familiar. That doesn't mean your new identity is wrong. It simply means the old habit hasn't fully dissolved yet. Neville taught that an imagined change isn't a true transformation the first time you experience it. A real transformation happens when your new assumption becomes so stable, so natural, and so familiar that it becomes your constant mood. That is when your state has truly changed. Until then, movement between the old and the new is completely expected. Let's use a simple example. Imagine buying a brand new pair of shoes. The first time you wear them, they don't feel like they're part of you. They're stiff, sometimes uncomfortable. You're constantly aware that they're new. You notice every step. But something interesting happens after wearing them consistently. They begin to soften. They mold to your feet. Eventually, you stop thinking about them altogether. They simply become comfortable. You don't notice them anymore because they've become natural. Assuming a new identity works exactly the same way. At first, it feels strange to say, "I am wealthy," when your bank account says otherwise. It feels unfamiliar to say, "I am loved," when your current circumstances don't reflect it. It feels awkward to identify as successful when your outer world hasn't caught up yet. That's normal. Your new identity feels uncomfortable because you've spent so much time living as someone else. Your old identity isn't reality. It's habit. It's repetition. It's conditioning. And habits don't disappear overnight. Imagine a flock of sheep without a shepherd. They naturally wander wherever they've always wandered before. Neville used a similar idea to describe our thoughts. Your mind has been trained to think certain thoughts repeatedly. So even after choosing a new state, your attention may drift back toward old fears, old worries, old assumptions, and old emotional reactions. The mistake people make is believing that this moment means they've failed. It doesn't. This is where the real work begins. The moment you notice yourself slipping back into the old story, don't panic. Don't criticize yourself. Don't start saying things like, "I've ruined my manifestation." You haven't. Instead, gently return. Simply choose your new identity again. That's it. No drama. No guilt. No self-punishment. Just return. If you notice yourself reacting to your circumstances, return. If you find yourself worrying, return. If you catch yourself replaying old conversations, return. If fear begins to take over, return. Again, and again, and again. Neville referenced the biblical phrase, 70 times 7. In this context, it beautifully illustrates your responsibility during manifestation. If your attention wanders 70 times 7, bring it back 70 times 7. Not with force, not with frustration, simply with awareness. Every single return strengthens your new state. Think of it like building a muscle. One repetition doesn't create strength. Thousands of repetitions do. Likewise, every time you consciously choose your new identity instead of your old one, you're strengthening new neural pathways. You're teaching your subconscious what is now normal. You're making your desired identity more familiar than the old one. Eventually, something incredible happens. One day, you'll notice that your first reaction is no longer fear. It's certainty. Your first thought is no longer doubt. It's confidence. Your natural assumption changes. Without forcing anything, you begin thinking from the version of yourself who already has what they desire. That's when the shift has become stable. That's when manifestation starts feeling effortless. Many people obsess over staying in the state perfectly. They constantly ask themselves, did I lose the state? Did I ruin my manifestation? Was that negative thought enough to cancel everything? Those questions actually keep them focused on failure. Instead, ask yourself a different question. How quickly can I return? Because that's what matters. Transformation isn't measured by perfection. It's measured by persistence. You don't need to stay in the new state every second of every day. You simply need to become someone who returns to it consistently. Every return weakens the old identity. Every return strengthens the new one. Every return tells your subconscious, this is who I am now. Eventually, the old story loses its emotional charge. It begins to feel distant, almost like remembering someone you used to be. Then one day, without even realizing it, your new identity feels completely natural. You're no longer pretending. You're no longer convincing yourself. You're simply being. And because consciousness creates reality, your outer world must eventually reflect that inner transformation. The 3D world is always catching up to who you consistently identify as, not who you occasionally become, not who you desperately try to force yourself to be, but who you naturally accept yourself to be. So the next time you find yourself slipping back into old fears, don't see it as proof that manifestation isn't working. See it as proof that you're in the middle of changing. You're replacing years of conditioning with a completely new identity. That process takes repetition. It takes patience. It takes persistence. And most importantly, it takes self-compassion. Remember this powerful truth. You do not fail because you fall out of the state. You only fail if you decide not to return to it. Every return matters. Every return counts. Every return is another vote for your new identity. As Neville beautifully taught, it isn't about how long you remain in the state or how perfectly you hold it. It's the frequency with which you return that eventually makes the state feel natural. So keep returning. Keep choosing. Keep identifying with the version of yourself who already has everything you desire. Eventually, that version won't feel like someone you're trying to become. It will simply be who you are. And once that happens, your reality has no choice but to mirror the person you've accepted yourself to be. If this message helped you see your manifestation journey differently, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear about your experiences. Have you ever noticed yourself slipping back into the old story, only to return stronger? Share your journey. It may inspire someone else. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to Real Life Manifestations, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our future videos on Neville Goddard, the law of assumption, and real manifestation success stories. If you have your own manifestation success story and would like it featured on this channel, you can submit it through the Google form linked in the description or send it to us on Instagram. We'd love to share your journey with our community. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, remember, your imagination creates your reality, your assumptions shape your world, and every time you choose your new identity, you're one step closer to living your desired life. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.